million euros, right? We are doing business in 23 countries right now. They have license to operate in about 70 countries, and they'll be rolling out new countries whenever they see when it's fit for them to go. And according to the plans that they have right now, the next 5 years, they plan to grow the company tenfold. So for you to take the company from 600 million to 6 billion in the next 5 years, somebody gonna make some money. Yes. Right? It is said that there'll be 10,000 millionaires created in this industry in the next 5 years. Think about that. Think about that. Why is it that ACN placed their international headquarters right here in Amsterdam? European headquarters in Amsterdam. Why is it that people have to fly from all across the world just to come where you are? Are you privileged?
Yes.
So they are about to do something big, not just in the Netherlands, around the world, but because you guys are in the nucleus of all this, it simply means you have everything at your disposal right now. But bear in mind, whether you get involved in ACN or I get involved in ACN, the industry is going to continue to grow. The company is going to continue to get bigger. And if we don't get involved, we just simply become spectators watching other people make money when we could be making some ourselves. That's the bottom line. And it's not like things are going to go back to what they were. Right? Everything is changing in the world right now. We are now in the information age. ACN is leading it. So if you position yourself with ACN, you're going to succeed in a massive way. Now think about this. I remember when Sergio got into the business. I remember when he never had one representative on his team. But you know what? He kept going to the national events. There was a time I felt bad for Sergio. I said to myself, oh my God, he's here. I remember when he came to New Jersey, all by himself. It was easy to spot him because he had the same hairstyle. Right? And I said to myself, I was concerned. I said, he's spending this money and he's traveling to the United States. The next time I heard, he's going to France, he's going everywhere. And I was concerned. And one day, he could read my mind. And you know what he said to me, Mr. Griffiths, when my business is not growing, I am growing. Right? He said, when my business is not growing, I am growing. And when I have grown to a certain place, my business will grow the way I want it to grow. But he kept going to the national events. They kept pouring into him. You kept hearing from the top people in the company. You know what? If you want to have, you have got to become. One comes before the other. Right? You have got to become if you want to have. And so what he did, he kept working on himself. And then eventually his business started to grow. Now his business is about to just go all over the world. You can have the same lifestyle. You can have the same business. But what he has right now compared to what he's going to have over the next couple of years is like peanuts. And you can have the same lifestyle. A gentleman once said that the person that's going to make the most money in ACN hasn't even signed an application yet. The next 5 years, the top producer, mark my word, the person that will be running across the stage in ACN 5 years from now is not in the business yet. But here's what's going to happen. That person could very well end up on your team.
Yes.
I saw that happen. I saw one guy made that statement to me one day. He said, Kempton, the person that's going to make the most money in ACN has not signed up in the business yet. But here's what I know, Kempton. I'm going to go recruit that guy. And he stepped out with an attitude. And he recruited 2 guys. And in less than 3 years, those 2 guys brought in over 1 million customers. Art Napolitano and George Zalaki. Larry Raskin said that. And he recruited them. So can you imagine that you recruit one person on your team, and that one person can build an organization in the next couple of years. And when you look at the size of it, it's about 1 million customers that you're getting paid on. Would that be good?
Yes.
But guess what? There's a price to be paid. Yes. And because of that declaration that Raskin made years ago, there's a lot of people in this room that is underneath Art Napolitano and George Zalaki, right? That means you are now benefiting from that statement that Raskin made years ago. And sometime in the very near future, somebody's going to say to me, man, I was in the Netherlands that day when you came and you spoke about what's going to happen. I took you at your word. I got started in ACN and look at me today. But you know what's going to happen? You've got to pay attention to training. It's the key to success in our business. I believe that if somebody is willing to teach you and is able to teach you and you are willing to learn and you are able to grasp the information, you can learn any skill. Would you agree? Yes. And that's what's going to happen up in Lisbon in the next couple of a week and a half from now. We are going to that event. It's going to be life-changing. It was so difficult for me to go to the first one. I was making excuses. I told my sponsor I'm not going to go. He said, why aren't you going? You don't have the money? I said, yes. And I thought, well, he was going to leave me alone, right? And then he said to me, he said, that's why you need to go. I said, why? He said, because you don't have the money. So when you go and you learn from the best of the best, money will no longer be an issue. I felt pressure. But there's no logical argument I could give him at that point to get him off me. So I went. I felt pressure. And when I went to the airport, guess what I ran into? I ran into him. Can you imagine you don't want to see somebody, you feel that somebody is pressuring you, and when you go to the airport, that's the first person that you see? You know what was even worse? When I went on the plane, I had to sit beside a guy. And it got progressively worse. Because I sat beside him 3 hours from New Jersey to Orlando, Florida. And when we got off, I realized that we were staying at the same hotel, so we had to take the same shuttle. I said, Lord, why you put this man like, I want to be away from this man, right? But once I got to the event, and I saw the energy, and I met the co-founders, and he started to talk about the lifestyles that people are going to have, and blah, I said, oh my God. I realized that I would have done a tremendous disservice to people if I had gone to that event. So what I did, I started to call people in New York, all across the country. And I said that it's my fault. You should have been here to see what I'm seeing right now. But because my belief changed, I went back to New York and I went to work now with a different attitude. My belief was so high then. I had all the courage in the world to talk to people. And for 1 entire year, I was the #1 producer in the entire company. Wow. Nobody could even come close to me. You see, when you are struggling with anything, and you get to that point where somebody can impact your belief, it can bring about changes in your life. And I looked at how I almost made excuses not to go. But somebody helped me to find a reason why I should go. And I got back to New York and I went to work, and the rest is history. When the magazine came out, when I looked, all I could see was my name every month. #1 for customer, #1 for reps, right? 1 entire year. I was the first person to be spotlighted twice on the back page of the magazine. All because of that one event. Let me tell you what's going to happen to somebody. You're gonna go to Portugal, and you're gonna make some sacrifice to get there. But let me tell you one thing, the greater the sacrifice, the greater the blessing. Your life is going to be changed dramatically because you went to that one event. I'm telling you right now. Now, understand one thing. I don't make money off this event, but I know what it's going to do for you. Now, let me ask you guys a question. You get a sense that I have a passion for the business? Yes. You sense that? You know why? I don't want anyone to walk out of this place and start telling people that Kempton Griffiths wants to save the world and he's such a nice guy. That's not the only reason I do this business. Yes, that's true. Right? I've seen a lot of people suffer. I know what it's like to see people drive through the ghetto and go live on the hills. Right? And I always wanted to find something that could address those humanitarian needs. And that's what ACN is all about. But that's not my only motive. The other reason I do this business passionately, and I have no difficulty teaching people how to do it, it is because I believe that if I can help you to make money, you're going to leave mine alone. So I don't hold back, I don't conceal any secrets in this business. There are positions to be earned in ACN. You have everything right now. And 3 years from now, some of you are going to be making some statements. Some people are going to say, man, I'm glad I went to Portugal. And when you look at the lifestyle of those persons who go, and you compare to those who never went, you're going to be like night and day. I'm telling you right now. It changed my life completely. Not just my life, but the lives of a lot of people around the world because of that one event that I went to. And so I highly encourage you to do whatever you can. When you go there and you hear the stories, what people had to do to get there, the lifestyles that people had, the sacrifice that they had to make to get to these events, and what they were going through. But it's my belief that you should never let what you are going to. Should never lose focus on what you are going to. Don't let your circumstances stop you. Is that understood? So never let what you are going through stop you from what you are going to. Is that understood? So we have an event coming up. Let me see by show of hands those persons who have already registered for Lisbon. Could I see it by show of hands? Wow, excellent. You know what? I'm going to ask the team to put that. Those of you that have not registered, could I see your hands? I'm going to put a document in your hand. Raise your hand. I'm going to reward you for raising your hand. Right?
The one who's not registered.